politics. In no way, shape, or form do I root for anybody here to die. But what would you say about Herman Cain, a man who was in his 70s, no young puppy, had underlying health conditions, an anti-masker? Clearly, he goes to a Donald Trump Tulsa rally, not practicing social distancing, not wearing a mask. He was traveling all over the country. And, well, what happened? He contracted the coronavirus, and now it cost him his life. Your thoughts on that, 257-5396. Let's get right to the phone calls. Let's go to Lee, who's been waiting very patiently on hold. Lee, what's going on?
Hi. I wanted to ask Michelle, it seems like you're pretty much in agreement with a lot of things that Brian has argued, like as far as it being stupid to not wear a mask, and just like the general idea of it being just like selfish to not do that, right?
Well, I wouldn't use the word stupid. I think it is beneficial to wear a mask. It is obviously the mandate here in Nevada, so you need to if you're going to go out in public. And I do believe that there are benefits to wearing it. So that's how I would say it. Maybe I would use different words than you did.
Okay. Yeah, well, and it seems like your only problem with it is this whole government mandate thing, so that anytime you kind of talk about anything else other than a government mandate, you're kind of straying away from your position on this. Like, we all understand that, or we have like an understanding that wearing a mask is generally a good thing, and obviously I do too, and I wear a mask all the time. But I don't understand. The only part I can't understand is how come you think that the government shouldn't mandate something that is only trying to save people's lives?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. It goes back to this libertarian belief system. And why is the government telling us what to do, period? There are laws that legislate, but should they be interfering with our everyday life, where we go, what we do? Remember, we're telling business owners right now that they can't serve someone if they don't have a mask. Why are we going to a place where the government can tell a business owner, a private business owner, who they can and cannot serve? That is ridiculous. We don't ever want to give government so much power and make it so big that they get to tell us who to serve, who not to serve, who to help, who not to help. That is a huge problem, and that is my issue at the very core of what this country was founded on. We are eroding that away with fear of a virus.
Lee, what's your response to that?
Which I can generally understand that, but in this case, like, we're dealing with something that's just it's a virus, and it's really harmful to people. It can be really harmful to people's lives, and even if they don't die from it, it could mess them up pretty badly over the long term. So even if there is still a mandate, and again, like, I can understand that general argument, but like I feel like this is a little bit different because, again, we're just trying to control a virus. Like,
right.
I feel like there should be made an exception here.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with Lee. I think, I understand where you're coming from, Michelle, but I agree with Lee in that, listen, this is the right thing to do. This is about a public health concern. This is about saving lives. We all want the economy to get back. Shoot, I do. I want to be able to go to the movie theater. I want to be able to go to any business I want to. I'd love to be able to go to a business without wearing a mask. I'd love everything to be open. I'd love everyone to be prospering. But it's not going to happen if people continue not to social distance and not wear masks. So I think the government is coming from the right place here. It's about saving lives.
But the government has been very, very, very arbitrary because church is bad, casinos good, Walmart good, the gym is bad. The arbitrariness of this, that we're allowing people who are part of the National Retail Association, people who are big political donors, they get away with it, but the common man doesn't.
Okay. So what you're saying is because the government isn't perfect and because they're not consistent with their laws, then that's a different subject than wearing the mask or not wearing the mask. I think we all should agree here. We all need to wear a mask. Now, you're right. I agree with you. I think you should not be allowed to congregate in a church, just like casinos should not be open right now. I agree with you. There needs to be consistency. In fact, I went after Steve Sisolak on that because I think it's about a money grab. It's about the Gaming Commission. That is wrong, but two wrongs do not make a right. I'd rather be one wrong than two wrongs.
It's kind of like seatbelts. I think seatbelts are a better example. Should you wear your seatbelt? Heck yeah. Do I wear my seatbelt? Heck yeah. My kids are still in car seats because I am super paranoid about accidents. But should it be a law that you have to wear one?
Absolutely, because it'll save lives. Absolutely. 150%.
But is the government here to protect you and to save your life, or is the government here to legislate?
The government, and as far as seatbelts go, you're wearing seatbelts for one reason and one reason only, not because they want to make you uncomfortable, because they want to save lives.
But is that the government's job?
In some cases, I think that there are people that put the laws into place, and if they have the country's best, I guess, what's the term I'm looking for? If they have their best thoughts, and I guess that their heart is in the right place as far as saving lives. Listen,
Then you
There's-
better hope every politician's good.
There's a difference between not wearing your seatbelt and driving drunk. I'll say that there are different levels, but both are against the law. Obviously, driving drunk is more serious. But again,
Sure.
if you're one of those people that doesn't wear a seatbelt, you're a fool. And here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a dumb parent. There's a lot of dumb parents out there. There are a lot of good ones too. A dumb parent that won't force their children to wear seatbelts because it's not against the law. But there are some dumb parents out there that will only force their kids to wear seatbelts because they don't want to pay a $200 ticket. That is why the laws work, and that's why it'll work in this situation. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Marge. Marge, you're next on the Vegas Take. Marge, what's going on? Hi, Marge.
Hi, Brian.
what's
Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you.
A lot of things to unpack. One thing, too, is that Herman was in Arizona before the Tulsa rally, and obviously, Arizona's been a hotbed. So who knows where he, picked up. He was all over in planes, trains, automobiles.
Exactly.
He was traveling the world, But, he contracted it. Who knows who else he gave if he was a carrier over at that Tulsa rally. But, within, 40 days of being at that Tulsa rally, he's dead. I mean, that's kind of shocking in a way, too. And
Sure.
maybe he was sick before that, and who knew, But I think this whole thing comes down to, and this is temporary. This is what I keep on thinking about. I really think, and I noticed with Trump when he was talking about his friend Herman yesterday, right after that, he said people should wear masks and and do the social distancing. It would really be a tribute. Who knows if he's going to even do it to establish basically the Kane law on a temporary basis, and he can do it as a president. And one of his biggest responsibilities as president of the United States is to protect the lives of the citizens. So let him establish, an executive order that says people have to wear masks and do social distancing in honor of his friend, Mr. Kane. I think that would be great. Once this levels off, then yes, we can open up things. We can open up, the movie theaters. We can go out to dinner, etc. By that time, hopefully, we'll also have vaccine and we'll have the protocol basically to take care of people who might still get sick from it. I mean, there's always that probability. I'm too young to remember this, but as I vaguely recall, when this whole seatbelt thing came along, there was a lot of dissension about that. People were mad because all of a sudden I'm being mandated. I have to put this thing on. I really don't. I feel uncomfortable. But the statistics have proven it saves lives. Now that's continued on and has to. This again, as I come back to my original point, this is only temporary. So if it's temporary to save lives and get us through a hump, I think we really need to establish that.
What would you say? Good thoughts on there, Marge. Michelle, what would you say to that?
Well, I think it's always great to say that executive orders would be temporary, but the truth of the matter is with the government, nothing is ever temporary. Executive orders are made and then they stay as if they are law forever and ever and ever. So again, if we also believe in the 10th Amendment, this is a states' right thing, and that's why each individual state and each individual governor has made the decisions on social distancing and masks, and the majority of the states in the nation are doing exactly that. So I don't think there needs to be an executive order from the president. Well, I think that's a lovely tribute to honor Mr. Kane. I also, I hate to see the politicization of this man where he is being treated as an idiot, as some may say, because he didn't wear a mask. He passed away. He was a great man. He was a great businessman. He was an amazing success story. And I hate the way that we are speaking about this man in his death. I don't believe
it's not
in
just
that.
about Herman Cain. For all the people out there, and I've talked about it on this show, that days before they've contracted the virus, there are stories like this throughout the country. People that didn't think this virus is real, people that thought it was a Democratic hoax, that wouldn't wear masks, and then on their deathbed in the hospital before they died saying, oops, I think I made a mistake. Yes, I think all those people are idiots. I am sorry that Herman Cain died. I am sorry that all these people throughout the country have died. But you know what? You know who I'm really sorry for? I'm sorry for that 1-year-old baby that died because her mother was drunk driving. Those are the people I'm sorry for. I'm sorry for someone that gets hit by a drunk driver on the road that did absolutely nothing wrong. Do I feel bad for Herman Cain's family and friends? Yes. But I don't feel so sorry for Herman Cain because Herman Cain made a choice, and it was a stupid choice. Make no mistake about it. It is a stupid choice, especially when you're in your early 70s with underlying health conditions and you listen to this Donald Trump rhetoric that he's been speaking until recently about the anti-mask stuff, and he decides to go in a crowd of 10,000 people in a Trump rally, not practice social distancing, not wear a mask, in fact, go on social media, which I think is dangerous because Herman Cain had a big platform, and be anti-mask, we're tired of it. So no, I don't feel that sorry for Herman Cain. I feel bad for his family and friends. I feel horrible for that one-year-old child that lost his life because of an irresponsible mother. Do I feel sorry for some of these idiots? Yes, I think they're idiots, Michelle. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you are an idiot. If you go out there in public, especially if you have an underlying health condition and you're at a certain age, and you don't practice social distancing, you don't wear a mask, and you take this coronavirus and undermine it. I think you're an idiot if you do that.
And you know what? I'm so glad that you acknowledge that it is a choice. And I'm so glad that you have the choice to use freedom of speech to say that you think that they're an idiot. And I'm so glad that you have that right. I'm so glad that everyone has the right, the freedom of choice. And that's what this is all about. It is about freedom. It is about limited government. There are choices we make every day. Do I hate the idiots who drive drunk and kill children? 110%. And I fear it all the time because after 18 years in TV news, I've just seen too much and experienced too much.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I fear it. I fear it every single day. I want to
Sure.
keep my kids safe.
I-
But there is choice and personal responsibility. And we can't just shrug that to the side and say, well, big daddy government should take care of it for us.
But let me be clear. Like, if you're in a Black Lives Matter protest and you hold up a sign that says All Lives Matter, or you hold up a sign that says I hate black people, you're an idiot. You're probably a racist too, but let's just all agree on that.
Okay.
You're an idiot. You're probably only affecting yourself because you're going to get your ass kicked. But there's a difference with the word idiot. You're an idiot that is putting everybody else at risk. If you just want to be an idiot and you want to be in a bar and you want to drink yourself, to oblivion and make an ass of yourself without getting into a vehicle, you're an idiot. If you want to go on the street and you want to talk to yourself and you want to, I guess, make fun of people or hold up a sign, saying you hate a certain race or you're an idiot and you're a racist. But you're more than just an idiot if you're Herman Cain, in my personal opinion. Okay? You're an idiot who is putting everybody else at risk, including yourself. It killed Herman Cain, but God knows how many other people he could have infected. To me, that's more than just an idiot. You're putting other people at risk. But that's why I use that term. But I know you disagree with me on that. But let's go back to the phone calls here. 257-5396. I believe David is next. David, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys? So, listen, I'm not necessarily arguing against wearing masks. I think it's a good idea. But when you use the argument that it, quote unquote, saves lives, I can think of a dozen things off the top of my head that we could make illegal that would save lives. So
what?
Really, what's that?
So what? Why does what I say wrong just because you could list other things?
Because you're selecting one thing that has to be done.
Because we're in a global pandemic, sir. We're in a global pandemic. That's why I'm talking about masks. If you want to bring up other things, you're probably right. There's probably a lot of things the government could implement that could save lives. I probably will agree with you, sir, but it doesn't mean my point is wrong or not valid.
It means you're selecting and choosing.
Because we're in a global pandemic. Why would I talk about sugary foods right now? Why would I talk about another subject? We're in a global pandemic. That's why I'm talking about masks. Do you think I would have been talking about masks 6 months ago? Of course I'm talking about masks now. We're in a global pandemic where over 150,000 people have died from the virus. Why would I be talking about 12 other things right now? That doesn't make any sense.
Brian,
no, you don't have to.
I'm not arguing the point on masks.
So what are you arguing then?
I'm arguing the point that you're selecting and choosing.
I'm selecting and. So let's talk about lollipops. Lollipops could cause cavities. Is that what you'd like me to be talking about during a global pandemic?
Talk about somebody with COVID on their deathbed going, "Oh, I can't believe I was so stupid." What about the person that smoked for 30 years on their deathbed?
Because we're not talking about cancer and emphysema right now. We're talking about a global pandemic. If you don't understand that, David, I don't know what else to tell you. I appreciate the phone call. Sean, we're going to move on to another caller. Why would I talk about other problems right now?
I think his point is, though, that if you smoke, you know that could give you cancer, that you know that could give you emphysema. If you don't wear a mask, you know that increases your risk of having coronavirus. It's about choice.
Okay, but here's the difference again. You mentioned heart disease. If somebody that maybe has bad heart problems, or somebody that goes to McDonald's every day and eats fast food every day, or somebody that eats bacon every day, you're probably right. It's a choice and it could hurt you. But guess what? It's not gonna kill me. If somebody next to me, if you're sitting next to me right now and you're eating horrible food, Okay, it doesn't affect my health. If you're sitting next to me and you're asymptomatic and you're not wearing a mask, it could affect my health. Why is that? I'm trying to understand why
It
that's
could,
so
but
hard.
it could not. But you don't know that if you get coronavirus that you're going to die. The fact of the matter is we have a lot of people who've gotten
But what
coronavirus.
you just said is not
and
valid,
they
though.
have not. No, it is
No,
valid
but I mean
because
before.
people who've
No, but you're comparing heart disease and cancer and those things. If you're sitting next to me and you eat horrible food every day, I'm not going to die of a heart attack.
Right, but if you're wearing your mask, if I'm not wearing my mask, I'm not hurting you.
Not true. It is a proven fact that if you're not wearing your mask, even if I am wearing a mask, there is a higher culpability that you could give me the virus. If you're wearing your
Well,
mask,
then, you
there's
know what? Wear
scientific
goggles
evidence.
like Fauci now wants us to wear,
Well,
and
that's a
wear a
different
face shield,
subject.
and wear all because there is risk everywhere. It's about being risk averse. If you are so
Of
afraid,
course there's
that you're-
risk everywhere, but that doesn't mean this is wrong. Listen, if you drive your car 100 miles an hour or if you drive your car 25 miles an hour, you could still die in a car accident, but it doesn't
Yes.
but it doesn't mean that you're going to drive 100 miles an hour every day.
No, but it doesn't mean you're
Drive the
also going
speed
to
limit.
stay home and not drive because you're afraid that somebody else could be driving
You can
poorly.
go out and not be afraid. Just wear a mask. That's all I'm saying.
And so you wear a mask because you want to, but quit telling everyone else what they have to do and what they have to wear and where they have to go.
Because it could affect my health. That's the difference. It could affect me, and it's a proven fact that if you're not practicing social distancing and if you're not wearing a mask, it's an easier to give the virus to somebody.
Sure, and you could get coronavirus and it could hardly affect you at all. It's no guarantee that you're going to die, end up on a respirator, or be in the hospital.
But just because there are some people that can get the coronavirus and it doesn't affect them is not an excuse for not wearing a mask because, as you know, there are plenty of people in society that it can affect.
So it's all about you. So whatever you want, that's what we're going to do.
No, it's
and
not
the
all.
re-
No, it's not all about me. It's about
Exactly.
everybody.
It's not all
It's about
you.
everybody.
So you're worried that it's going to affect you, but someone else is not worried at all.
No, I'm not.
So whose rights
I'm
matter
not worried.
more?
No, you're wrong. I'm not. It's not just about me. It's about everybody in society. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to contract the virus. A friend of mine's mother, 61 years old, no underlying health condition. She had to be buried a few months ago. She had no underlying health conditions. You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about everybody. I'm worried about my parents, my family. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about everybody associated with this show. Even J.D. Sharp, who I don't always get along with
but
on the
don't
air.
assume that I'm not worried about people.
I didn't say you weren't worried about people,
I know,
but if you
that's
go
what
out
people
there,
get irritated
Okay,
about with the arguments.
I didn't say that, but what I am saying is this. If you're one of those people, and I'm speaking in general terms now, that walks in public and does not wear a mask because you just refuse to for whatever reason, you don't like the government, you're selfish. And it's very simple. To me, if you're driving 100 miles an hour into 25, you don't care about everybody else. It's selfish. If you go out there in public right now and you don't believe in masks and you don't care about masks, it is a selfish act. Nothing to do with the government. It is proven that if you wear a mask, you are doing a service to society and you are making this safer. If you don't wear a mask, it's selfish. But we got a lot of people on hold again, so I gotta get back to the phone calls. Oh, a friend of the show. Why don't we take this call? Chris Wynn, who fills in for me sometimes on the Vegas Take. Chris, what's going on?
What's going on, you two? Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick point that I think Michelle and a lot of people are missing when it comes to masks. It's not about, when you wear a mask, it's not about you getting the virus. The purpose of wearing a mask is that so you don't transmit it to others in society. It's not about, the mask is not going to prevent you from getting it. You can get it through, you can get it through other orifices, which is kind of a bad way to describe it, but you understand my
Yeah,
point.
I know.
It's about transmission, you transmitting it to others. So I think that's a very simple point that just got missed in this entire conversation when you guys are talking about masks.
All right, go ahead, Michelle.
Well, right. And I agree with you. Like I said, we're going to see this great aunt and uncle soon. They want us to wear masks all the time. I'm obviously going to do it. I would feel horrible if I made them sick. But then bringing it back to Brian's point, he's saying these people are selfish. These people are selfish. Okay, let's go there. Let's say that they're selfish. Does that mean that they need to be fined? Does that mean they need to go to jail? Does that mean that they need to have, what?
No, I
so
think
now
I think they need to be called stupid and idiots, and they shouldn't be allowed in any private business. That's
Cool.
what I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. But that doesn't mean that we're going to punish them by law and throw them in jail.
Well, I said it's almost impossible to do that. But however, if you're one of those people that run a business that are allowing people to go into your business without a mask, then you can be punished by the law.
Actually, you can. Now, whether you should be punished or not by the law for that, because I'll remind you of this. If we weren't going to serve certain customers, golly, would that be okay? Certainly wasn't okay in the times of segregation. Certainly wasn't okay when Christian bakers didn't want to bake a gay cake. And I think that's stupid. I would have baked the cake a million times over. So I'm not saying that people don't make stupid decisions, but do we take away businesses' rights?
again, if you're asymptomatic and you give it to an elderly person, I think that is an extremely dangerous situation.